All right, one of the things that you're going to see is the material that we'll go through in the next section is nothing new. It's just building upon everything from these last two sections, 4.2 and 4.3. And like I said, 4.2 is just building off of 4.1. So everything is pretty much just the same kind of things as what you've been doing. It's just manipulating them in a slightly different manner. All right, when you look at this problem, you're looking to combine these fractions into a single fraction. The first thing you want to do is you want to factor everything completely. So the only fraction that is not completely factored is this third one. Okay, so the first two are already written in the most factored form that you can write them. Remember, sum of squares has no factors. A lot of students make the mistake of thinking that's x plus 1 times x plus 1, okay, or x plus 1 times x minus 1. But this has no factors. The only thing that has factors is the denominator of your third fraction. You can remove a common factor of x, leaving an x squared plus 1. Okay, so once you establish the factored form of each of your fractions, what we can now do is we can combine these into one single fraction and find the LCD. So if we look at the first fraction's denominator, we know we have to have an LCD factor of x. In the second fraction's denominator, we need to also have a factor of x squared plus 1. And in our third fraction's denominator, we need an x, which we already have, and an x squared plus 1, again, which we already have. So these two factors will be our LCD. So now what we can do is we rewrite and simplify the numerator. Take the numerator of our first fraction, negative 1, times whatever LCD factor is missing from this denominator. It has the x. It's missing the x squared plus 1. And move to the next fraction's numerator. So plus 2 times the LCD factor that's missing from this denominator is the x, and then plus the last fraction's numerator 1 times the LCD factor missing from this fraction's denominator. It's not missing anything. Okay, so all we need to do here is simplify our expression, distribute our negative. We got negative x squared minus 1 plus the 2x, and then a plus 1 here. Okay, when we look at that, the 1 and negative 1 cancel. And so we're left with just a negative x squared plus 2x. Okay, so when we write our numerator and work to simplify it, we should write it in factored form. So there is a common factor we can remove from both those terms, a negative x. And that's going to leave an x and a minus 2 all over x times x squared plus 1. And so the final step in this is to cancel any common factors. So the x's cancel, and we're left with a negative x minus 2 all over x squared plus 1. And now, when we look, did we cancel any factors from the denominator here? Yes, so we do have to account for domain restriction. X cannot be 0. That's not demonstrated in the simplified form, so you need to include that separately.